Myself, Girish H., Associate Professor, Department of ECE, Cambridge Institute of Technology. I'm going to teach Module 4, that is Subsystem Design in VLSI Design subject. The contents of this module are as follows: architectural issues, switch logic, gate logic, parity generators, multiplexers, the programmable logic array. First, we'll see about architectural issues for subsystem design. If we want to design any subsystem, okay, we'll have to follow some guidelines or the steps to design the subsystem. They are listed as follows. So first, we need to define the requirements properly and carefully. So if you want to design an ALU, we need to list out the requirements for that particular ALU, like how many inputs would be required, how many outputs, how many power supply rails would be required. So those things we need to write properly. Then we need to know the internal architecture of that particular hardware and the functionalities of that particular subsystem. Then we'll have to partition the overall architecture into appropriate subsystems. Okay. Then we'll have to know the communication paths between the modules. For example, if we take a ALU, so ALU means it is arithmetic logic unit, which has arithmetic modules as well as the logical modules. Arithmetic modules like adder, subtractor, multipliers, dividers. Logical modules like AND, OR, NOT, NAND, NOR, etc. So we'll have to partition the ALU into smaller blocks, and then we need to know how it has to be communicated. So once the communication path is known for the modules, okay, we'll have to draw a floor plan how it has to be fabricated onto the silicon. Then we'll have to aim for regular structures. We need to draw the circuit diagram, okay, for all the modules which is present in that particular subsystem. So once the circuit diagram is drawn, we'll have to draw the stick diagrams or the symbolic diagrams for each leaf cells of the subsystems. Then we need to draw the layout diagram for all the subsystems, and we'll have to do a design rule check. So once the design rule check is done for all the modules, we'll have to simulate the performance of each cell present in the subsystem. So once the simulation is done, if all the modules are working properly, if the subsystem is working properly, then we'll have to give that layout diagram to the fabricator so that the fabricator can fabricate the IC, and he'll give that particular IC to the designer. Right? These are the architectural issues to be followed for designing the subsystem. Fine. Next, the subsystems can be built in two ways. One by using switch logic, other one by using gate logic. First, we'll try to build the logic circuits using switch logic. In switch logic, we'll use pass transistors and transmission gates. In pass transistors, we have two types of pass transistors: NMOS pass transistor and PMOS pass transistor. So using NMOS pass transistor, PMOS pass transistor, and transmission gate, we can try to build the circuit or the subsystem in switch logic. The symbol for NMOS pass transistor is shown. In that, okay, we have three terminals: gate, source, and the drain. Initially, we'll apply logic 0 for gate of NMOS, so that NMOS transistor will be off. If NMOS transistor is off, then the input will not be propagated to output. Then the output will be at high impedance node. Next, okay, we'll apply logic 1 or 5 volts to gate of NMOS pass transistor. That is for the X control input, so that NMOS pass transistor will be on. So once the NMOS pass transistor is on, we'll try to apply logic 0 or logic 1 to the pass input, so that it will be propagated to the output. When we apply 0 volts, we'll get 0 volts at the output. When we apply 5 volts at the input, we'll get 4 volts at the output. That means logic 1 is degraded by threshold voltage. NMOS pass transistor is good at passing logic 0 and poor at passing logic 1. Right? Next, we'll see how PMOS pass transistor works. So X bar is the control input for PMOS pass transistor. Initially, we'll apply logic 1 for X bar, so that and PMOS pass transistor will be off. If PMOS pass transistor is off, then the output will be at high impedance node. Later on, we'll apply logic 0 or 0 volts for X bar, so that the PMOS pass transistor will be on. So once the PMOS pass transistor is on, we'll try to apply 0 volts and 5 volts at the input. So we'll get 5 volts properly at the output, and we'll not be getting 0 volts at the output because 0 volts is degraded by threshold voltage. Instead of 0 volts, we'll be getting 1 volt at the output. About the PMOS pass transistor. PMOS pass transistor is good at passing logic 1 and it is poor at passing logic 0. So we have one more device in switch logic, that is transmission gate. So wherein we'll apply X control input for the NMOS transistor and X bar control input for PMOS pass transistor gate. So initially, if we apply 0 volts to gate of NMOS pass transistor and 5 volts to gate of PMOS pass transistor, then PMOS pass transistor and NMOS pass transistor will be off, so that the transmission gate will be off. So once the pass transistor are off, your transmission gate is also off. It will be acting like open switch. Then the output will be at high impedance. Later on, we'll apply logic 1 for X and logic 0 for X bar, so that transmission gate will be on. Later on, we'll apply logic 0 at the pass input, so that we'll get logic 0 at the output. We'll be applying 5 volts at the pass input, so that we'll get 5 volts at the output. Transmission gate is good at passing logic 0 as well as logic 1. These are the characteristics of the pass transistors and transmission gate. Here you can see the realization of the subsystems using the pass transistors and transmission gate. So first we'll try to realize a 2-input AND gate using NMOS pass transistor. A single NMOS pass transistor can be used as an AND gate. So you can apply A input for gate of NMOS and B for pass input. When we take product of B and A, we'll get AB. Right? Similarly, we can try to realize a two-input AND gate using transmission gate. A single transmission gate can be used to implement a two-input AND gate. We can apply A input to gate of NMOS and A bar to gate of PMOS and B input to the pass input of transmission gate, so that we'll get A dot B. A simple NMOS pass transistor and transmission gate can be used to implement a two-input AND gate. Similarly, we can try to implement a three-input AND gate using NMOS pass transistors and transmission gate. If we have product terms, the pass transistors and transmission gates should be connected in series. So here we have connected two NMOS pass transistors in series. Now to implement a three-input AND gate, when we take product of B, A, and C, we'll get A dot B dot C. Similarly, we can try to realize a three-input AND gate using transmission gate. Two transmission gates can be connected in series, wherein A, B, and C are the inputs. C is applied to gate of NMOS pass transistor, A is applied to gate of NMOS pass transistor, and B is applied to the pass input. So that we'll get the product as A dot B dot C. Okay. It's very easy to implement logic gates using pass transistors and transmission gates. Here we don't require the power supply rails. There's no static participation in case of pass transistors and transmission gates. In this example, I have tried to implement a buffer and some logic gate. In order to implement Y is equal to a single pass transistor can be used. Logic 1 is applied to pass input, A is applied to gate, so that we'll get the product 1 dot A, that is nothing but A, which realizes a simple buffer. Right. In the next example, I'm trying to implement an logic expression Y is equal to AB plus C. So there is one sum term and two product terms. For each product term, we can use a pass transistor. In order to get A dot B, we'll use one pass transistor. In order to get C, we'll use one pass transistor, so that we'll get 1 dot C as C. When you take sum, we'll get AB plus C. In order to obtain sum term, NMOS pass transistors should be connected in parallel. Right? Here I'm trying to implement a 4-input AND gate using NMOS pass transistors. 4 NMOS pass transistors are connected in series. V are the pass input, A, B, C, D are the control inputs, V out is the output. We know that by applying logic 0 for gate of NMOS transistors can be turned off. Initially, when we apply A is equal to B is equal to C is equal to D is equal to 0, all 4 NMOS pass transistors can be turned on. So that V out will be equal to high impedance. In order to turn on these pass transistors, we'll have to apply logic 1 to the gates of NMOS pass transistor. When A is equal to B is equal to C is equal to D is equal to 1, then all NMOS pass transistors will be on. Therefore, we'll get V out is equal to V in. When V in is 0, we'll get 0. When V in is 1, we'll get logic 1. You all know that NMOS pass transistor was poor at passing logic 1. Logic 1 is degraded by threshold voltage. This way, we can try to implement a 4-input AND gate using NMOS pass transistors. In the next example, I am trying to implement a 3-input OR gate using NMOS pass transistor. Here I am trying to implement for logic 0 as well as for logic 1. You all know that the logic expression for OR gate is A plus B plus C. In order to get some term, NMOS pass transistors should be connected in parallel. The left side circuit, 3 NMOS pass transistors are connected in parallel. A, B, C are the control inputs that are applied to the gate of NMOS pass transistor. VDD is applied to the pass input. When we take product of VDD and A, B, C, we'll get A, B, and C are the outputs of each NMOS pass transistor. Since they are connected in parallel, we'll get A plus B plus C. VDD is nothing but logic 1. So 1 into A is A, 1 into B is B, 1 into C is C. So therefore, you are getting A plus B plus C. We got the sum term. This implements a simple 3-input OR gate. So which realizes for logic 1. So if we want to implement for logic 0, the right side circuit is used, wherein 3 NMOS pass transistors are connected in series with complement control inputs. A bar, B bar, C bar are applied to gates of the NMOS pass transistors, which are present in the right side. So since they are connected in series, we'll get the product term A bar, B bar, C bar. Since we are trying to realize for logic 0, your output should be at 0. Therefore, V out can be represented as V out bar. Therefore, we will get V out bar is equal to A bar dot B bar dot C bar. When we apply De Morgan's theorem, we'll get V out is equal to A plus B plus C. So the right side circuit implements for logic 0 and the left side circuit implements for logic. Like this, we can try to implement a 3-input OR gate using NMOS pass transistors. The next example, I am trying to implement 5-way selector using transmission gate, which is called as CMOS 5-way selector. The left side inputs are the data inputs V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, which are applied to the pass inputs. The bottom control inputs are A, B, C, D, E, which are applied to the gate of NMOS transistors. The top control inputs are A bar, B bar, C bar, D bar, E bar, which are applied to gates of PMOS pass transistor. So when we take the products, we'll get V1A, V2B, V3C, V3D, sorry, V4D, V5E. So that the logic expression will be V1A plus V2B plus V3C plus V4D plus V5E. Since they are connected in parallel, we'll get the sum of the product terms. Yeah. Then A is equal to B is equal to C is equal to D is equal to E is equal to 0. All transmission gates will be off so that your output will be at high impedance. When A is equal to B is equal to C is equal to D is equal to E is equal to 1, then all transmission gates will be on and we'll get the output as V1 plus V2 plus V3 plus V4 plus V5. Finally, we can give the inputs for V1, V2, V3, V4 and V5 and we can check the output. There are 5 control inputs and 5 data inputs in this 5-way selector. Here we have used transmission gates and we have implemented 5-way selector. In this way, we can try to implement the subsystems using switch logic.